of Ghana is on Nigerian Gov't Pressure, bringing you political news in our channel, Ghanatube. Series of happenings, series of things has actually been coming out one by one in Ghana. A lot of concentrations, a lot of projects, a lot of appointments, and a lot of things that President John Dramani has actually submitted himself to doing for the people of Ghana. And as usual, our channel is always committed to bringing you all this news your way. Please, Rich.
Obviously, I'll start with you. I've seen that you've carried a story on this, and especially those living in the states illegally and what it means for them. Clearly, there's a danger ahead.
Well, I don't know how you describe danger ahead. We say we are all sovereign countries. The sovereign countries do things that are in the interest of their country.
Yeah.
I've been searching and I found some of the reasons why they are adding this status as countries. At least we have 60 days to meet their demands.
Right.
And per additional information that I have seen, they have submitted or have had discussions with countries based on what they expect each country or why they want to put them on the ban.
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting, I'm sure in my mind that the Foreign Affairs Minister knows exactly why we are being added to that list.
Yeah.
Some of the issues that they have, the memo says they are calling for media to address shortcomings in border control data and vetting systems, or risk-facing visa restrictions or outright bans. Some of the concerns are lack of a competent or cooperative government by some of the countries listed to produce reliable identity documents. Do you know what that means? I'll come back to them. Some countries are not cooperative in facilitating the removal of its nationals from the United States who are ordered to be removed.
Right.
Nationals of the countries were involved in acts of terrorism in the United States or anti-Semitism and anti-American activities. The Department of State is committed to protecting their nation and its citizens. So let me come to the first one that I mentioned, lack of a competent or cooperative government by some of the countries listed to produce reliable identity documents.
Right.
The first ban that came, the U.S. government released a long list of countries and the number of their citizens that are on ICE lists for deportation.
Right.
In that list, the number of Ghanaians on that list to be deported is 3,228.
You don't say.
Yeah. The ICE list, as at the beginning of the year, in January when the U.S. released it, 3,228 Ghanaians are on the ICE list to be deported. What this means is that there's people that are to be deported. Most of them, or many of them, have thrown away documentation as to who they are. But because they enter the country with visas and the rest, the U.S. knows which countries' passports they use to enter the country. So they are able to determine that these are the people who enter the U.S. with Ghanaian passports. So they are Ghanaians. Because a passport is issued to only citizens of a country. So if they are on ICE list and they are to be deported, they need documents that will enable them to travel back to Ghana. These documents are to be issued by Ghana to them because their passports are either expired or some of them don't actually have. But because they have their data, because they control their visa system, they know that this person came in with a Ghanaian passport. So they ask countries that produce document, what you call a travel document, either passport or travel document for these people so that they can be deported back to the countries they came from, pay their passport of travel. What this means is that Ghana is supposed to produce documents for these 3,288 people. So the suspicion I had is that Ghana is refusing to produce the documents for these people to enable America to deport them. Because as a country, we also have the right to say we will not provide a document. And by the UN convention, you can't deport anybody without a travel document. You can't send anybody to a country without a travel document. It's not a travel document determine which specific country the person is being sent to. So if Ghana refuses to provide the people documentation, what it means is that the US can't deport them. So the people are remaining in the ICE detention and becoming crisis for the country. And I believe that is one reason why Ghana is on that list. I believe this is why we are on the list. And see, people will give the excuse that but many of those people may not be Ghanaians. the American doesn't know who is a Ghanaian or who's not a Ghanaian. Once you travel in Ghanaian passport, you are a Ghanaian.
Well.
So if our passport system is so weak for nationals of other countries to access it and travel with it, the American doesn't know who is a Ghanaian, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, or anything. What he knows is that you entered with a passport from Ghana. And passports are issued to citizens of the country. All citizens of the country use a passport. So for them, it's the passport the person has entered the country with. So if the person entered America with a Ghanaian passport, whether it's another national who has come for Ghanaian passport, the US can only deport that person to Ghana, because of that. And because the person's passport is expired or the person has thrown it away, though their system show that the person came in with a Ghanaian passport, the person cannot return to Ghana without any paper in hand.
Well.
So Ghana government will be required to the foreign ministry and the embassies in the US to provide these people with the necessary documentation, either a new passport or what they call a travel document to bring them back. And I believe Ghana is not doing this. That is why they are adding this to the travel ban.
Very well. Very well.
The second one is about the anti-Semitism and anti-American activities and terrorism. I don't believe that Ghana is being added to this terrorism,
right.
but I believe that anti-Semitism will may be added. What they call anti-Semitism is there are groups in the US that have been put on US national security list as groups that are doing everything possible to make America unstable. Okay. They said the intention of these groups in the US is to turn US into a chaotic state. That is what the security Institute of America have identified. And there are several groups that have identified. These groups most of the times are found participating in demonstrations. And they believe that those demonstrations are meant to destabilize the US. So for instance, when the Palestinian-Israeli war was going on, there were a lot of demonstrations on student school campuses in the US.
Playing for your country.
We have 9,394 Ghanaians studying in various universities in the US. So in the event that any of these students participated in those demonstrations on university campuses, which the American government has described as anti-Semitism actions, because they believe that those organizing those demonstrations across university campuses are the very groups that they have labeled as anti-Semitism groups who wants to destabilize America. So if a Ghanaian participated in this demonstration, what it will mean is that the person is part of the group that wants to destabilize America. You see, the demonstration will be the one everybody knows, but the security apparatus of the US, they know why people are doing this. So a Ghanaian student may innocently think that, oh, maybe I support the cause of the reason for this demonstration and participate in it. But then they don't know that there are undertones in it. And for participating in that demonstration, the Ghanaian students may be deemed as part of those who are trying to destabilize America. I have no information whether some Ghanaian students participated, but I'm saying that in terms of the anti-Semitism, in case any Ghanaian student took part in some of these demonstrations on school campuses, then they will be deemed as people who are participating in anti-Semitism. For me, really the reason, I think these are the two main reasons I think America is trying to do, because they want to deport the people who are on ICE lists out of the country,
but they don't know which country to send them to
because of the issues of documentation. So if Ghana is refusing to provide the documentation to them, then they are bringing the travel ban to force the government of Ghana to provide the documents to be able to deport these people. Between 2021 and 2024, 258 Ghanaians were deported from the US for various offenses such as criminal and other things that are overstay of their documentations. So we should understand that Ghana government needs to also consider some of these things. There are no reliable figure, but it's estimated that we may have between 30 to 50,000 Ghanaians who are living in the US illegally. We have those who are living legally amounting to almost 300,000
right.
in the US currently. But it is expected that, or it's estimated that there are about 30 to 50,000 who are living there illegally. In the US, you can live there illegally for 20 years if you don't have problem with the law for them to find out what's your documentation. There are many people who are living in the US who don't have any document. But until you have problem with the law, nobody is going to deal with you. But the Trump administration has brought in further stringent measures until the Trump administration came in and brought in this new demand of wherever you are going, carry your documentation around. It was not there, so you can be in the US for 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years, and you have no documentation because nobody is going to meet you on the street and ask you of your documents. But per the new directive of this Trump administration, for people to carry their documentation, law means that if you are met in town, any immigration official can ask you citizenship or your document, whether you are legal in the US.
Thank you, Gov't.
Please do well to like, comment, follow, put on notification bell so you get all our news one by one. Thanks, my people.